changes that we think might be what he was talking about, it could cause even further division.
Okay, I understand a little better what you're saying. Stu, I'll give you a privilege here. You got a statement, question? Okay.
Stuart Gage, priest. My question is there something specific that they're referring to and I'd like an answer from someone from that quorum about what they're referring to when they're talking about potentially divisive action? I assume I know probably what they're talking about, but I would like clarification. I mean, I'm wondering if they're talking about the issue that's come up about communion, who should or should not be served. And then I have a follow-up question if they have an answer for that.
Go ahead, Doug.
Number one, no, there's no specific thing that we were thinking about. What we're thinking about is what we spend so much time here at this conference doing, and that is arguing about minutia on things that have to do with how we're going to run a man-made organization that the CRE is, instead of trying to focus on things that the Lord has told us to do. And that, when it talks about what the purpose and direction of the conference is, that's a discussion that I feel we need to have. I'm not going to speak for the whole quorum here. You know, when we're talking about resolution number 1, talking about who can be an elder, who can we talk to, who can we confer with, we're oftentimes, it seems as though we're trying to be the church. In other words, we're not going to let that elder come and talk to us, because if it was the church and they were someplace else, we would not want that to be a part of what we're doing. And the conference, as I see it, is a group of elders who are coming together to try to come to some conclusions about what we can do to be helpful to the gospel. And that is not the church. That is not, I don't see any reason to be excluding people from that discussion if there's people who might have some positive input on what we can be doing to be able to get to the point where we need to be. I'll just do a point of privilege here, maybe off topic just a little bit, but it's still on topic. You know, the Lord tells us in Ephesians that He's placed in the church apostles, prophets, evangelists, teachers, and that these will be in the church until the time that we come to a unity of doctrine and a unity of faith, even to the likeness of Jesus Christ. And we're not there. And so, as independent restoration branches, for which there is no scriptural background, there is nothing in the scriptures that says anything about an independent restoration branch, then as long as we are perpetrating those branches, and that's our single goal, then we are doing something that is unscriptural. This conference, while the scriptures do talk about having a conference of elders within the structure of the church, there is no scriptural basis for a group of elders to get together to say anything. Now, it doesn't mean that the Lord didn't direct us and that we haven't done some good things as an elders conference, but this is not a scriptural body. And so we need to be looking and asking the Lord, how can we get back to being the church that you've called us to be? How can we get back to doing things under the auspices of the scriptures that you've given us and working in that way? And we feel that by listening to the Lord's direction, that there's a possibility that we can do that. By not listening to the Lord's direction and continuing to try to do things as men and making rules about things that have to do with the things of men that are potentially divisive to the church in general, particularly to our families, to our children who see the division and see the hypocrisy of what we're doing and say, we got nothing to do with this, we just want to find out about Jesus Christ, then we are doing ourselves and the work a disservice. And so that is why we would like to try to focus the conference onto something more than what we are. We're on Zoom here. There are more people meeting in Kenya than there are elders here at this conference today. And their question is, what's going on? And we need to answer that question. What is going on here? Are we trying to do things according to the way that God has told us in the scriptures to do them? Or are we going to continue to, as the members' quorum said, continue to die? There are less and less people here every year that we have a conference. And a lot of us are older than 60. And in another 20 years, most of us will be dead. And if we don't have anybody else coming in, then whatever it is we're trying to do here will also be dead. Except in places where these things are not issues. Where people are concerned about the gospel, and that's their concern. So that's what the point of this is.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead, Brother Don.
Would like to make a motion that we table this resolution until we all have time to sit down and read it and pray about it. I think we just got this resolution this morning when we come in the door, and I feel like we need a little time to look at it.
There's a motion on the floor to table. Let me double check my memory here. If it's debatable. Well, a table can come anytime, I believe. The question is whether or not it's, just a minute. It is non-debatable. It does require a second. Okay. Tom Mitchell seconds it. The motion is to table. Was there a time limit you put on it to come back to, or right now just tabled?
I say we could review it again tomorrow.
Okay. We have a business session this afternoon. We don't have a business session tomorrow, so we would have to move it to this afternoon if you were going to put a time limit on it. Okay? Okay, so the motion is to table until this afternoon's session. Those in favor, please show your hands. Those opposed? Okay, it's clear that the motion to table passed. And so we're tabling 6 until this afternoon. So the next thing on our agenda here, we've got 25 minutes, is back to resolution number 1. It's okay. We're going to deal with it this afternoon. So, is it 3? I thought it was 1. No. Oh, thank you. Okay, so if you'll go to your books, section 3, we're going to bring resolution number 1 to the floor. This is from last year, was referred to the coordinating council, so you've had time to, Brother Doug? Okay, are you wanting to move that one up? Okay. Which resolution number was that? That was number 5. Be quorum, number 1, resolution number 5.
Can I go ahead and say that in the microphone?
Yep,
I move that we move quorum number 1 resolution, tidings masthead, to be dealt with next.
okay. The second on that, Jay? Okay. So what we're voting on now is to bring it forward. Okay, we're not voting on the resolution itself. Those in favor of bringing resolution number 5, show your hands. Any opposed? Okay, we're going to move to resolution number 5 now. Is there somebody like to present that? Brother Jay?
Yeah, this came out of quorum number 1, and it's pretty self-explanatory. We get, and at least in my home, I get Tidings of Zion, I get the Vision, I get the Restoration Voice, I even get the Remnant magazine. Don't know how I got that, but none of them say anything about Jesus Christ on the cover of the magazine. I have people come over and they see that magazine, and it's not, there's no cost for them to pick it up because they don't know what Tidings of Zion means. It only means something to us in the Restoration. But if they can see on the masthead that the Tidings of Zion proclaims the gospel and the works of Jesus Christ, they might just pick that up and read it a little bit. So that's the genesis of this resolution.
So I've got a question. Are we simply going to ask the Publications Council to come up with a masthead to reflect this, or are we supposed to do that too?
No, we're asking the Publications Council to put the statement proclaiming the gospel and the works of Jesus Christ on that.
Okay. Okay, any questions? Okay, then looks like everyone's ready to vote. Question back in the back? No? Okay. Yes? No?
Sorry, we're having a little internal discussion there. It's more about resolution 1.
No, we're on 5 right now.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
So when resolution 1 comes up.
Yep, okay. Okay, so we want to, and I apologize online, we took that vote and I didn't even ask or wait for your comments on that, so forgive me for that. We're going to vote now on resolution number 5, the Tidings masthead. So all those in favor of resolution number 5, please show your hands. Are there any opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you. Before we get to resolution number 1, I apologize. We need to approve the minutes. Now, this is for how many sessions? 3? Yeah, they're all before you, right? So everybody should have those. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Okay, Brother Larry moves. Is there a second? Brother Doug seconds. Any discussion on the minutes? Any corrections that you saw needs to be made? It's good when when the secretary finds a correction.
Might as well find your own.
Yeah,
So just from Tuesday's minutes, which is from the afternoon session, and on the conference minutes that was handed out yesterday for Tuesday's, page 3 of 5, where it's talking about all except assistant treasurer will be corporate officers. Then it was later mentioned that historian also is not a corporate officer, so I can just make that change, but I just wanted to say that out loud was, I'll just make that change to be all, the chairman, secretary, and treasurer will also be corporate officers.
right. Thank you. Any other corrections or comments? Those in favor of supporting the minutes, accepting them, please show your hands. Any opposed? It passes unanimous. Thank you for online votes also.
Question.
Benji?
Would it be best for our time to consider a conference location and time for next year as opposed to jumping into one, or do we want to jump into it? I'll leave it to you.
Nope, I'm very much in favor of that because I think we're going to be breaking before we're going to get one done. Would you like to move that up?
So moved.
Benji moves that we discuss conference time and location for next year. And discuss that now. Is there a second to that? Jeremy Stevenson? Okay, so those in favor of discussing that next before 1, please show your hands. Any opposed? Yep, yep. I'll wait for the final vote until after they vote. Okay, passes unanimously. We're going to go to the date and the time. What we want to do, I want to give you an update here. So this year, first of all, we want you to know that with Resurrection Sunday and Palm Sunday, the dates of those when the schools vacation, spring break, we just could not have it at CPRS this year, and we really struggled finding a location. The Stone Church has been extremely helpful in allowing us to meet here, and so we want to find out from you where you want to meet next year. First of all, our fiscal year goes through the end of February. Okay. Next year, the CPRS spring break is March 21st through the 28th. And next year, the COC World Conference is May 30th through June 5th. So this place is available also for us. The Stone Church was $2,500 more than CPRS. There's pluses and minuses. Want to just float it out there so I'm open up for what you guys want to do. Just giving you information right now. Hello, Tom.
How are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
good.
speaking in favor of the position at Waldo. 2 reasons. One, it is more expensive here, as much as I love this building. And number 2, if we put 7,000 or 5,000 here, that's 5,000 that CPRS isn't getting for the kids.
Okay. Are you in favor of the date too, March 21st to the 28th? Okay. Huh? Did you make that as a motion, or are you just making a statement right now?
I'll make that as a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Vim seconds it. Tom made a motion that next year's conference would be at CPRS the week of their spring break. So unless something changes, right now that date is March 21st through the 28th. Yes, Easter next year is not until April the 20th, so it's way late next year. Okay? So conference, the motion then is to have it at CPRS, March 21st through the 28th. 20th? Oh, that's, okay, so what is that Monday? 24th, and Friday is the 28th? Okay, 24th through the 28th. Okay. Don't see anybody coming to the floor, nobody wants to speak, so we're going to call for the vote. Those in favor of next year's conference, then being at CPRS, March 24th to the 28th, please show your hands. Any opposed? And those that are online that are not out of the country, you have the date right now. I don't want to hear from anybody. They did not know what the date of conference was next year. It has been established now already. So, thank you. So, you have 15 minutes. Do you want to jump into number one and get started? Brother Doug? Keep in mind, quorum you and Jeremy? 3 said they had several amendments that they wanted to make too, so we're going to break those up into bite-sized pieces. So go ahead, Doug.
I was just going to point of personal privilege. Number one, can we turn the air conditioning down in here? I'm freezing.
I know, we're all freezing. Okay.
Number two, I was talking to someone and they threw out a suggestion, which blew me away, but I just wondered about it. They were saying, what if the possibility of having our business sessions from 6 to 9 in the evening and having our worship services during the day at the next conference? Because at night here we have 250, 300 people, and then the daytime we have 60 or 50 or 20 or whatever. And so maybe if we had the sessions at night when people who are working, who can't take the vacation time off, that they could still get to the conference, we might have more input of a wider variety of people, particularly young people who aren't retired and are still working. So I don't know, I just want to throw that out there as a possibility that...
The reason we didn't do that and the reason why we try to make most of our business sessions early is because of 8-hour or 13-hour time change. And so those that are in Africa or 6 hours or whatever, then they really have a very difficult time participating at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Now maybe that's what we could do is we'll have our business session at 3 in the morning and then they'll be right on time for them. And see how many of us are ready to jump on that. So
Don't put that on the online vote.
no, don't do that. Okay, that is not a motion on. Okay, so I'm at the point right now of moving one forward. Yes, Stu?
I just had a quick question, if I could, please.
Okay.
The Aaronic Council brought up before today in their report that we had requested to have a conversation similar to the one we had downstairs in the general conference versus just being downstairs amongst, because the request was made to the general conference, and we're wondering, some of us are wondering anyway, if that is going to be responded to or if it's just going to get pushed over, or what's the situation with that, please?
I had asked the elders to discuss in their quorums the message or the question in regards to is able to be served sacrament, And so did the elders, any of your quorums address that question? Okay. Well, this is too big of a topic, guys. I really, whether we discuss it then openly here, but somehow or another, I'm very solid on what I think the scriptures say on this matter, but I think we need to be on the same page as this. And so hopefully we can get through some of this stuff and we can address this question that has been brought up to us by the Aaronic priesthood. And it's not just the Aaronic priesthood, the members have some of the same questions. So I think as the spiritual leaders of the church, we better come to an understanding on this instead of us just thinking, well, yeah, we know what the answer is. I think we need to say this is the answer and this is what we are all in agreement on. So let's keep that in mind here before we close business. It's been requested of us, so let's make sure we deal with that. So go ahead, Doug.
I'd just like to share that 3 o'clock this morning I was woken up and the Lord placed on my heart that I needed to have an answer for the Aaronic priesthood. And so the Lord gave me a list of scriptures and a response. And if that would be appropriate, I would like to put that into the record, and maybe we can have that printed up by this afternoon if that would be appropriate.
We can do that. How long is it?
3 pages? No. 2 pages.
Okay.
Depends what font you use.
The reason I was asking, I said, do you want to read it or do we want to just print it and get it for everybody first?
I think it should be printed.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Okay.
harder, but
Then we'll get that printed over lunchtime.
Okay.
And we do have a session this afternoon that we'll take care of
Distribute it.
that too.
all right.
Okay? Okay. Would somebody like to bring number 1 to the floor? Okay, Jeremy?
Jeremy Stevenson, I move we bring Resolution 1 to the floor.
Okay. Okay. Been moved and seconded, so Resolution 1 is on the floor as printed in your binders, page 6 of 13. We won't go to the time of go ahead, Benji.
I was going to ask in point of privilege, or I don't even know what you'd say with this, but I think it'd be great if we would discuss the whereases and if there was any issues there, because we have all kinds of different notes in each one of our quorums on how we would address this. If we pieced it up, we might be able to have better conversation rather than amending and amending and amending. If we discussed only a portion of the resolution at a time, I think that might be able to get us through that.
Okay. First of all, the whereases really mean nothing. You mean the resolves? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So one section at a time, the whereases would be a section, the resolves would each be a section.
Okay, the whereases are simply informational, and a lot of times when a resolution is adopted, the whereases go away. And so we're really, all we're really dealing with is the resolve. So if you want to make that as a motion, we can certainly do that and just go resolve at a time.
So I would like to call your attention to page 6 and the third paragraph up that says the following guidelines. And so that one does have comments. So I think that we would address that. That's a resolve. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. So address that resolve would be, I would suggest that we bring up that portion. So I can make a motion that we accept the markings up on resolve, the first resolve that was presented to us in our packets.
Okay, and I want to make sure that I've got one you're talking about. It's the one at the very top that just dealt with the activities, the resolve at the top.
That's fine if we address that one first. That's
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we'll deal with that then. Just go ahead, Jason.
Well, I just said I didn't
Okay, so
Yes.
let's,
No, but I'm up at the top. You said the first one.
Okay,
Be it
so-
resolved that through prayer and discussion, and all it does is change, paragraph change in activities to conferences.
yes, that is what I would suggest we take first, that paragraph.
Okay. Okay? I don't want us to get burdened down here on some parliamentary stuff. I'm gonna be a little bit flexible if you'll allow me to. Are we okay on the first resolved? Be it resolved, and we're gonna, their paragraph changing activities to conferences. This is tying down to the bottom where it sees there, the following guidelines will serve, and then we took out activities. Okay, you see that?
I move we accept that resolve.
Okay. Okay, and it's seconded. Okay, Jeremy?
I just want to be clear that we're just talking about that one change, not the entire resolve, because that entire resolve goes through the entire.
Okay. You know, and you are correct, and I'm afraid we're going to end up really putting ourselves in a spot here. We really need to handle these item by item, if you don't mind, okay? And so right now, Resolution 1's before you, and it's open up for some amendments if we want to.
I'll withdraw whatever you would like me to. For complexity's sake, if we addressed a paragraph at a time is what I was addressing.
Yeah.
You can take the
Yeah.
prerogative of how you would like that.
Okay. Okay. So thank you for that. Are there any amendments that would like to be, quorum three, or two, three had amendment? Let's do them one at a time so we don't get bogged down.
Okay, we'll go with the easiest one first. In number 5, where the motion is striking out in CRE activities, in is grammatical correction. We amend that in stays in there, is removed from that correction.
Okay. So the only thing would be scratched is CRE activities. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, are you seconding it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm seconding that, and then I've got,
Okay, go
in
ahead.
that same paragraph, or A, third line down, it says determined should be detrimental.
Okay, well, no, we're going to do one at a time. Yeah. Because it's two different things. We'll stay with number 5 then if you want, but right now, this is the only change. So right now, before you, the only change is to reinstall in back into the paragraph. Okay? Those in favor, please show your hands. Any opposed? Okay. Online still voting? Online has approved that also. Guys, I want to just say this, this is, just be patient, okay? This hasn't been dealt with for 13 years. And so let's just be patient. Let's just work through this, okay? There was somebody else had a question. Quorum had an item on number 5.
5A, third line down, it says unbecoming a priesthood member or conduct that is, and it says determined, it should be detrimental.
I'm not, third line. Yeah. Yeah. Is determined? Okay. Detrimental. Okay, so you are striking what?
The word determined and replacing it with detrimental.
Okay. So, and you're striking will too, right?
Yeah, you need to go up higher, Brian.
I'm up higher, okay. third line, okay. Oh, is determined, I'm sorry. Okay. Is detrimental. Okay, I'm with you, I apologize. See, that patience was with me. So that was from it's from Jay Havener.
His own quorum.
Okay, Jay's own quorum. So the motion is to third line on 5A, starts is determined. It will be strike determined and insert detrimental. Any discussion? It's before you on the screen too. Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on this. Those in favor of this change, please show your hands. Any opposed? Okay. Brothers, it is noon. Oh, sorry, thank you. Thank you. Those online, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting patiently for you. And I love you. Thank you. And it passes unanimous also. It is time now for our break. We have people at Living Hope that has prepared lunch for us and free will offering there. So we will take a break here. We'll come back. Also, let's see here. When we come back from lunch, we have a session at 1:30 to 3, which is going to cover two things. We're going to cover the 2-year message. We're going to have discussion on that, how we're doing, how we're progressing. And we're also going to talk about what took place at the members forum. And so that's going to be a very good topic for us to discuss. And then directly after that, we're going to move into our last business session. So right now, lunch at Living Hope, and I hope everybody can make it. Brother Allen, could you, Allen, my brother, could you offer a blessing on our food and a closing prayer for our session here?
Our great Almighty Heavenly Father, Lord, it is wonderful to have been fed this morning, hear from your Spirit. And we ask, Lord, that as we leave here and leave this session, that that Spirit might continue to go with us, and that we might be fed from the physical standpoint at the Living Hope, Lord, and that you might bless that food that we partake of, that it would be nourishing to our mind and our body. And please bless all those that partake or that participated in the preparation of it. So go with us, Lord, and be with us for the next period of time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And Alan, your card, your name tag's out on the table if you want it. I got it. Hey, all right.